Hello, everyone. Welcome to our new radio show, StoryTime, presented by CEI and supported by Erasmus+. Today we have a few volunteers from different cities and countries in Europe. And today our topic will be traveling. My name is Yeva from Lithuania.
My name is Naitis and I'm from Iceland.
I'm Victoria from Ukraine.
And my name is Kata, I come from Hungary.
So, the first question today is, do you travel a lot?
It depends. When I have free time, I do. If I don't, I don't.
So, yeah, it depends me too. I try to travel every year but do not succeed. I prefer I get to more places than I will go holiday for 1 week. I also love to travel by public transport or by car. Because after high school I went to university that was 500 kilometers from the hometown. So I have been commuter person since then.
I think I travel a lot because I'm so lucky that my mom is a flight attendant at an airplane company in Iceland. So I've been very lucky to get flights on low prices, and I've also been with my mom on her stops working. So yeah, I've been very lucky.
And also, what countries did you visit?
I've been to Norway, Sweden, Denmark, Scotland, England, the Netherlands, Germany, Austria, France, Italy, Spain, Portugal, now Bulgaria, and then I've been to a few cities in the US and Canada. Yeah, and I've also been to Luxembourg, but I can't remember it because I was 2 months old.
So you traveled a lot. What about the other girls?
So I went to Austria, Slovakia, Romania, Poland, Croatia and Italy. That's all. My favorite country from this Italy.
Yeah, I think I visited almost every country on the Balkans Peninsula, like Serbia, Macedonia, Albania, Bulgaria, of course. I've been to Romania and Turkey, also to Italy, and when I was a kid, I've been to Russia.
Yes, about myself, I also like to travel. I've been to a lot of countries in Europe, like Italy, France, Slovakia, Romania, now Bulgaria, and I've also been to Russia and Australia. Our next question is, what countries do you want to visit next?
So outside Europe I would be interested Far East, for example, Nepal, Bali and Taiwan. And I'm interested to travel around the world, for example, 40 days.
Well, I have planned a trip now with my friends. We're going on like this, traveling trip through Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. And these places have all been on my bucket list forever. So I'm very looking forward to going there. And yeah, that's the thing that I've been wanted to go and do for the longest.
Well, I'd like to visit some bordering countries of Ukraine, like Hungary and Poland. I'd also like to see Austria, and of course Portugal. Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to go to a lot of more countries around here near Bulgaria, and also my dream is to go to Japan, Korea, and all those countries. And I also wish to discover more of Australia because I've only been to Sydney, so I want to visit more. Our next question is, do you remember your first trip?
Yes, I am. When I was a child, we went to Budapest, Hungarian capital, with family, and I had no problem at the time when there were many people in one place or moving from one metro to another.
Well, within Ukraine, me and my family traveled a lot, so I don't know. I don't remember when the first trip started, but I do remember my first trip abroad. It was exactly 2 years ago here to Bulgaria. And I was so scared because it was also my first time flying with the plane. But it turned out really good and I have good memories.
Well, my first trip abroad was when I was 2 months old, so I don't remember that. I have only heard it from my parents. But I think the first trip I remember is in Austria. Went skiing. We always went skiing with my parents and my brother, and then both of my grandparents. And we went for like 7 years in a row, I think. So I think that's one of my first abroad memories.
I don't remember my first trips. Actually, the first trip abroad that I can remember is when I was 12 and I went to Australia. But I do remember a lot of trips when I was in Lithuania, traveling through other cities. Next question is did you go somewhere which you had your own expectations, but it turned out to be very different?
Yeah, I have such a trip. Actually, when I've been in Erasmus here in Bulgaria 2 years ago, me and my friends were planning a trip somewhere abroad and we decided to go to Turkey. But we couldn't go because half of us needed a visa. And in one day, we changed our plans and we bought tickets and went to Bucharest, to Romania. And I had like really low or no expectation about the trip because I don't know, we had like associations like it's a gypsy country and no good stories about it, but it turned out really good. We spent 4 days there and it was amazing. We've been around Christmas time and the atmosphere was like holidays, people dancing on the street, Christmas market, everyone wishing to people Merry Christmas, giving gifts, kids running around. It was really good. Yeah, it's one of my best memories so far.
I don't know about it.
Well, I don't know if I do like formulate my expectations that high, but I just remember that when I went to Oslo in what was it, March? It was like a school trip, so I wasn't like I didn't have that much expectations. It was just my class going, but then it turned out to be like an extremely fun trip and we learned a lot and I liked Oslo very much. And yeah, that was like a different ending than I thought.
Now we would like to tell some stories from our travels, some funny and remembered stories.
Yeah, okay. On my 20th birthday, which was on 23rd of February this year, I went to Birmingham on a concert with Drake, one of my favorite artists. And I went with my friend. And while we were on the concert, there came like a short break, and we decided to go to the toilet. And I went to the toilet, and I forgot that I had my phone in my back pocket, so it fell down to the toilet, and I like saved it right away, tried to dry everything, and well, the sound didn't work for like a day or something, and my front camera only worked, not the back camera, and yeah, so, but it recovered. Then in Easter, I went to Paris with my mom, and when we were in Château de Versailles, I went to the toilet and I forgot that my phone was in my back pocket, so I dropped it in the toilet again. And well, I could dry it pretty fast and it recovered faster than earlier. Then, when I went to Edinburgh in August with my friends, I didn't drop it, but when I was going out in the airplane, when we were returning home, my phone died and it just completely died and it couldn't resume. So I went to like repair something, and the fault was that it had gotten wet inside. So from these two toilet trips, the phone died, but it took like 6 months to die. So it was a tough phone.
Yeah, you should take good care and pay attention to your phone while traveling.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I have one story also. It happened actually 2 weeks ago here in Bulgaria when me and another volunteer, a girl from Poland, hey Magda, if you're listening to us, yeah, we went on a day trip to Velika Ternova here, and we decided to save money. That's why we went by train, not by bus. And it was quite an experience because we thought we bought a ticket for a train like Stara Zagora Velika Ternova, and Velika Ternova was the last stop, like final destination, but apparently it wasn't. So when the train arrived to the station, it stayed there like for 1 minute and no one get out of the train. So we thought, okay, that's not our stop because people should get out of the train like that. And the train was literally stopping for 1 minute and thought, no, it's not possible. That's too little time to get off. And we're sitting, and then we realized that there is no other station in Velika Ternova, and the train already passed the city. So we took our ticket and went looking for inspector, the guy who checked our ticket. And when we showed him the ticket, and he said, "Oh, you need Velika Ternova, but it's finished. We already passed the station. What have we to do right now?" I said, okay, in 2 stations there will be a city where you should get off for the train and catch a bus to Velika Ternova, but it's okay because the buses go like every 20 minutes there. But he was really nice. He explained everything. When we came to that city, he even went outside of the train and showed us where the bus station is and explained how to go there. So it was an adventurous one and really fun time, but we managed to see the Velika Ternova eventually.
Yeah, I have another story. When I went to another town in Iceland, it's called Akureyri. It's on the other side of the country. We went there for a ski trip, me and my parents, and when we were there and were about to leave to go back home, the window in our car froze down, so it was like down in a down position, so the window was open, and it was like completely freezing outside, and we couldn't lose the window, so we just had to drive home for 5 hours wearing all of our ski clothes inside the car because we couldn't close the window. And at a one gas stop, we stopped and got like this paper that we like taped over the window, and it closed it a little bit, but it wasn't enough. We were freezing, but yeah, so that was one of the worst drives I have experienced.
Yeah, tough time.
Definitely. I also have one story from the time I went to Australia. We landed in London, but somehow we landed not the correct way or not in this place we were supposed to land. And I was still too young to understand what they were talking because they were only talking in English. And we were started going up again to land correctly this time, but I was panicking because I didn't know what was happening. And my grandparents, who don't speak English too, they couldn't explain to me what was actually happening. Up until now, we've been talking about countries we've been and places we've visited. Now, which of those places was your favorite one? What do you like about those places?
So my favorite place definitely Rome. So Italian lifestyle, lot of sight and excellent kitchen, so it's the best for me.
Yeah, since I've been a child, I can't even remember when I started to like Italy, but I don't know, as long as I remember, I always liked it. And when I started school and in history classes, I started learning about ancient Rome, and in geography, I started learning about Italy, and I was like falling in love more and more. I said, I have to go there. And then 2 years ago, I did, and like my dreams came true, every single one of them. And I've been to 4 cities, and every single one was different from each other, but it was, amazing, and it was so memorable. And I'd really like to go back to visit other cities there.
What cities did you visit in Italy?
I've been to Rome, Venice, Florence, and Milano.
And which one of them is your favorite up until now?
Oh, it's a really difficult question because I loved all of them, but on that trip, somehow I loved most Milano, even though I spent the least time there. But I think it's because when I was there at that time, there was um, a few tourists, so it mostly were like Italians who live there, and you could appreciate more the atmosphere, the traditions, and everything in the city.
Yeah, well, I was actually gonna say Italy as well because I think Italy is like the country I've traveled in the most, except for Iceland, obviously. And yeah, I love all the cities. I've been to Florence and Pisa and Rome, Naples. I've been to Sardinia, Sorrento, Milan, and yeah, I like them very much. All the history and all the culture. But I went to Paris as well last Easter, and I actually fell in love with Paris, like in an instant. And I would actually love to live there. It's like my dream place to live in. And yeah, those are my favorite places so far. I hope I'll get more favorite places in the coming year.
We hope so too. For me, I don't know which country that I've visited is my favorite, but I can definitely say that Lithuania is the best for me, obviously. But yeah, I also enjoyed Italy, and I also very much liked Australia because it's warm there. let's uh, let's discuss another thing about ways of traveling. What ways of traveling do you like most, and why? Of course.
So metro, I love metro because very fast and cheap. And so in Sofia the metro is the best because Sofia has 2 lines, and the one lines from city center to airport, and this is a very good solution, I think.
For me, as long as I'm traveling with the closest friends or my family, it doesn't matter the way of travel, but I'd really enjoy road trips by car because when we do them with my family, we always have fun, laugh a lot, share some funny stories, listen to music, and it's always good time.
Yeah, the same for me. I really love traveling by car. Last time I went to Italy, I flew to München, and me and my dad rented a car, and we drove from München and through the Alps and through the Dolomites and down the Po Plain and through Tuscany and then down to, I think it was close to Naples. And it was a 2 day trip, and it was so interesting driving through all of these different landscapes, and you can see how the land has been formed, and you can see all the history in it, and I love that very much. And also, when you're traveling in a car, you can stop wherever you want. Like, you see something pretty, and
Yeah,
you're like, oh my god, we have
exactly.
to stop there. Instead of when you're traveling maybe by train or something, you can't control it. So
Yeah, I also agree with you. I and my family and my mother's sister's family, we traveled together by 2 cars to Poland and Germany, like throughout the whole countries. That way we can see much more, and it's also, I think it's cheaper than just taking buses or flying everywhere, because you can see much more and experience much more during the flights, the car rides. Our last question for today is: did you discover anything about yourself during your travels?
So I think when I travel to somewhere, then my social sensitivity is improved. General thesis is that if we are elsewhere, we will get to know ourselves better.
Well, I think the thing I've learned the most about myself is that I just want to travel more and more and go to more places, experience more cultures, and learn more languages and all of that. And yeah, it like makes your horizon wider as well to see all the different cultures and everything.
For me, it's very similar. I always discover how much I love to travel, to see different people, different lifestyles, and also I've discovered that I love planning travels because I feel very good reading about the countries before going there, or putting trips where I want to go next, and so on.